Oh, welcome back. My name is Wahid, and if you're new to this channel, I am building a 20-foot catamaran sailboat in my garage. And the weather has been cooperating these last couple months. The temperatures have been cool enough that I've been able to get all of the fiberglassing on the inside hull bottoms done. And that has then allowed me to put one more piece of planking on the inside hull sides and finish up all the fiberglass now on the inside hull bottoms. So yeah, I figured I would make this video and give you a quick update. And the next step is going to be to finish planking this whole side all the way up to this stringer, which will be the bridge deck support. So there'll be a lot more visible project happening soon. There's been a lot of work on fiberglassing the inside hull bottoms, which is, a lot of work that needed to be done, but it didn't, provide much visible progress on the boat construction. So now we're getting ready to move into something that's going to actually look like progress is being made again. So, all right, let me get into it. I'll show you all the details of what's been happening recently.
And before I forget, let me show you one more thing. For the fiberglass tutorials that I showed you earlier, I gave one video on a detailed session of fiberglassing, and I was mostly using a brush to spread the epoxy around and wet out the fiberglass tape. And that worked fine for smaller sections. But for some of these larger sections, I've been using this roller. And I've got it right now in my acetone bucket. And there's the handle. I take it apart after I'm done. Let me fish out the roller. And there's a little nut here. So I take it apart so that I can make sure that all of the epoxy, especially inside this little roller, gets completely dissolved. Otherwise, I'm afraid that it would cure and the roller would bind in place. But this is the roller, and this goes on here. Trying to do this one-handed. There we go. And I'm not going to try to put the nut on, but this little nut here screws on to the end inside here and keeps this in place. And what this tool allows me to do is, as I am trying to wet out the fiberglass, I'll take this tool and just roll it along like that, and it gets all the air bubbles out. So it gives a good strong bond between the fiberglass and the surface. All of the fiberglass in the inside hull bottoms is now done, except for the last two compartments. And I can't do those yet because the hull planking is not tall enough yet to get that. So I've got a piece of planking here ready to go on this side, and I'll be putting that on. But before I get to the planking on the other side, let me show you a problem that I need to take care of on the other hull. When I was originally, this is the first hull that I did, and when I was originally doing this, when I sanded this down to angle it, I made it, well, the thickness here is the thickness that I made it, but when I came to this one, this is the second hull that I did, I made this one a little bit thicker. So it's about 1/4 of an inch thicker. So what I'm going to do is, I've already started some planking here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an extra piece of wood, about 1/4 of an inch, to build this up a little bit right here. And it'll have to be fixed up a bit here with this stringer. And when it gets up to the top stringer up here, I'll have a little bit of a gap here that I'll have to fill in, but that's okay. And down here, what that means is the planking here is going to stick out a little bit, so I'll have to ferrule this in down here. to make that even. But I think that's the best way to deal with this. And well, I want to take care of this before I get any further. So, all right. And oh, there's one other thing. Let me show you that also. All right, so when I removed the peel ply from this inner hull section, I noticed that there's a hole here in the thickened epoxy. So I need to fill that in, and it's going to be a lot easier to do that while I still have easy access before I plank up the other side of this hull. So yeah, I'm going to take care of that also. So now I feel just like a dentist filling a cavity. I used the countersink bit on my drill to widen the hole a little bit so that I'll be able to put some more thickened epoxy in there. So I found a piece of cut off 1/4 inch or 6 millimeter marine plywood, and I just cut a strip here, and this will go right here on the front end to bring this out an extra 1/4 inch. So I'll go ahead and get that epoxied on now. Alright, this little hole is patched up and I have a piece of peel ply on it, and it's cured. Let me see if I can remove the peel ply. Oh, there we go. And it's all patched up. Alright, let me show you the front. The 1/4 inch spacer that I glued on is all in place and it's cured, and I just held it in place with these spring clamps. They're 3-inch spring clamps, and that worked out really well. And the next piece of planking is in place, and it's all clamped in place and it is cured. Now I used these 12-inch C-clamps to clamp the boards here so that they would line up, because some of the previous ones, the boards, well, they'll line up here at the bulkheads because I clamp them all to the bulkheads, but here in between the bulkheads, sometimes the curves weren't quite matching the one below, so they ended up not quite matching. So these extra clamps just help ensure the alignment. Yeah, and so the next step is to get the next piece of planking done on the other hull.